Originally an arcade game released in 1986, Jackal was what you would call an obscure game released by Konami. Or at least I didn't hear kids talking about it when discussing their favorite games on the playground. But luckily for me, I owned this game on the NES as a child, courtesy of my dad. It was one that I always enjoyed playing, whether with my younger brother or sitting side by side with my father as we ran over hostiles, because who needs guns when you have an armored jeep? Like most games in my childhood, this one is a top-down run-and-gun style, where you either take control of a green jeep in single-player mode, or if you're second player, a brown jeep. The arcade version featured both of them being green, and was actually a well-sold arcade cabinet in Japan. After further review, I was wrong. This game was actually really popular, which is pretty cool because I really loved it. The plot of the game is simple. You control the Jackal unit composed of 4 well-trained soldiers fit to go into any environment and wreak havoc. The team is composed of Colonel Decker, Lieutenant Bob, Sergeant Quinn, and Corporal Gray. They have been given a mission to drive 2 armed jeeps to hostile territory in order to rescue and extract POWs. This won't be an easy task because enemy turrets, soldiers, tanks, and missiles are all trying to blow your jeep up, and being as stubborn as I was, I tried to destroy everything, which would cost me a ton of lives, and sometimes just maneuvering away from the enemies is a better strategy. The first level puts you into a desert jungle setting where you are armed with what I call the pea shooter and a grenade. Blowing up certain buildings will allow you to upgrade your weapon to a missile, then a missile that splits in 2 ways, and then a cross pattern. It's pretty useful to use the cross pattern throughout the whole game because everything else just pales in comparison. Your goal is to rescue the POWs and bring them to the helipad, which most of the time I just skip, but in a first playthrough, I suggest getting as many POWs as you can so you can gain extra lives. After completing each level, something was pointed out to me on stream. They have one-liners that are pretty funny, like, yeah! As like you see like these things blown up in the background, or them looking at Matt saying, here? I mean, it's pretty funny and adds a little bit of story to the game, I guess. When you reach the end of each stage, you have a boss fight. The first level, you battle 3 tanks and must hit them multiple times to blow them up. I recommend using the special move, but if you feel like it and go against your better judgment, use the pea shooter if you want. I don't care, just do it. After that, you get to the second level, which sees you go through some ruins. And I don't know if it's a battleground or just somewhere ancient. But by the end of the level, you see statues, which look very familiar if you've played Castlevania, because Medusa's head also looks like the statue. Konami really has a fetish for it. But no matter. You have to try and blow them up with multiple shots, using your pea shooter and your special move, all while trying to dodge tanks that are trying to kill you. The third level puts you in a harbor where turrets pop out of the ground, boats fire bullets at you, and also a hidden pickup in the form of a metal pops up if you need it in the corner. The laser beams in this level can end your run real quick, and you have to time them to get past all while trying to keep tabs on tanks that spawn in random places, which can kill you if you're not careful. The boss for level 3 is a giant battleship that takes up almost the whole screen. It has turrets that pop up and down and shoot projectiles that split into multiple parts and try to hit you. Also, there are tanks following you, so you have to be careful of that. It will take a lot of maneuverability to make it past this level, and it took me a while to beat this level, but, you know, I actually really like the idea of fighting this battleship was pretty cool. Level 4 is where the heat-seeking rockets show up and try to blow you up. I was unsure how to destroy them, but all I did was just go backwards and fire a missile of my own. Other than that, I would say go as fast as you can, but it isn't easy because there's marshes everywhere and they try to slow you down. But after fighting tanks, turrets, rockets, cars, trucks that fire black orbs at you, finally make it to this helicopter where it tries to fire projectiles and plant soldiers in your general direction, all while trying to stop you and impede your progress. If you're careful though and you maneuver a bit, you should be able to take it out no problem. I don't think the heli is too hard, and it's only until level 5 where things really ratchet up. Bigger tanks, bigger missiles, bigger everything. Level 5 was tough. I had to get past turrets that shoot giant orbs at you now, big tanks that shoot giant orbs at you. They also shoot lightning at you, at least the brown ones do. Also, there's just everything is bigger, everything is so chaotic. But finally, after using every skill that I had learned and placing weird shots at weird angles and fire at turrets that are hidden behind sandbags, I finally reached the boss, where tanks come out of nowhere from these little doors and you have to blow them up, but also there are turrets that follow your every movement and try to take you out, so be careful. But finally, I reached the final stage. I would like to call the end level Turrets, Turrets Everywhere. This by far is the most frustrating level in the game, but also the most satisfying. It seems every little thing is trying to kill you at this point, trying so hard to stop you from reaching the end. But if you're lucky enough to keep your missiles throughout the whole time, then great. But if not, there is one hidden spot that gives you a full upgrade. But after that, you're on your own with your grenade. Which is really hard because at the end of the level, there's a conveyor belt trying to kill you. Well, not the conveyor belt itself, but there's giant turrets around you that are trying to kill you. Rockets are following you around, and you have to just destroy everything in your path. It's pure chaos, and it's a huge mess. It doesn't stop there, though, because the final boss requires you to dodge tanks, helicopters, laser turrets, all while firing at the center of the building, holding on to every last life you have. I remember the first time I got to the second phase, but I didn't know, so I put the controller down and cheered, thinking that I'd beat it. But I was wrong. A tank popped out, fired a laser, and I ran out of continue. In this game, there are only 3, so you have to really be careful where you die. Or just not die. Don't die at all. Keep all your continues. Keep all of your lives. You just have to be really good at the game to get past without dying, I guess. The tank moves left, it moves right, and it fires a laser beam every so often. And I'm sure if you have the rocket, it's a lot easier than firing grenades and the pea shooter. But I didn't have either. I just had the grenades and I had the pea shooter, so it was really tough. The tank finally turns red, and that is how you know you're at the end. Finally, the tank blows up after a few shots, and you get a congratulatory screen and credits roll, just like every other NES title. Having beaten it for the first time, I feel the game was a lot of fun. It's not one of those really unfair titles that the NES would pump out, like Holy Diver, but it can be a challenge. I think if you stick with it and have patience, you will beat it eventually like I did. The graphics, I think, work well and offer that arcade-style fun. The soundtrack is really driving, and you feel the sense of urgency in the music. The overall difficulty could put people off, but it's one of those games that if you play over and over again, you should get it down. And perhaps a speedrun might be next in your future. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and hit that bell to see more content. and join me on twitch.tv/Resurretro for more content.